I have been with PMI for my birth. I will explain why. I'm basically a civil construction engineer, and construction is the motherhood of project management. This I came to know only when I did my MBA. Yeah, MBA was in major in project management. So here I came across, learned that project management has come from construction and aerospace industry. Because these two industries are project-based industries. So I went into construction by choice. So that's why I say that by somehow I was born with that interest go in the construction area and in the project-based industry. Naturally, when I was before my birth, I must be having some sort of influence on my mother probably, that she made me to go and think for project management. Having said that, I don't mean I'm the expert of project management. No, I'm still learning because there is large area to learn. And luckily, I have learned how to learn. And for that, I have attended a course also because by saying that doesn't mean that you know what exactly how to learn. Learn how to learn. So I took that course and that really opened up my mind that really it requires that what should be the mental state to learn. See, you can or you will never learn until and unless you are ready for it. If you are ready to learn, then only you will learn. If you are not ready and you are not receptive, whatever is happening, you will never learn. That's why I say, and I agree to that, that it needs to be receptive to learn something. And for that, luckily, I have put myself into that area where I can learn. And most of the time, when I go to public places, I sit quietly in a place, and my wife said, "What the hell you are doing up here?" I said, "I'm just watching." Because looking at different people's, their behaviors, their reactions, how they do around, it really brings you a lot of learning. And that's amazing. Sometimes you feel that you know what that gentleman or that person is going to do. And exactly you find that it's just is doing exactly that thing which you had visualized. So anyway, I will come back to my topic, which is very much relevant for the present time because every industry, across the industry, every area, the businesses are being faced by the complexities. And what are those complexities? That's the major area I'm going to share with you. Because whenever I got the opportunity to talk to, I found that the people were only having the feel that the complexities they were dealing with, those are the only complexities happening in the industry. No, it's much more than that. So that area is a major area I'm going to share with you. And for that, just bear with me for a while. Becomes a presentation. Now you can switch. Okay. Before this, I suppose there is another slide, agenda. Let me go to the agenda so that everybody must feel easy that I'm not going to make them sit here all time to come. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to talk about my introduction very briefly, and I may take a little longer than because I'm very much fond of talking myself. Then I will give you an overview of business complexities and insightful solutions that I have been able to gather. What solutions are possible? And those solutions, we will just take a look, and then we will go for group discussion so that I also get a chance to learn from you what you feel, that where these solutions are best fit, and how best you can make use of these solutions in your own present position and your own present exposure to the complexities. So that's how that will be the part of the area where I'll be learning. So I'm very much fond of learning that area. Okay, please, little back. Let me be taking chance of presenting myself. Well, I'm, as I said, Muhammad Aslam Mirza. That's my name, and a beautiful name because that's the beauty of my parents who gave me this name. It's a gift, one-time gift in my life. Of course, I'm very much thankful to my parents that they gave me a very beautiful name. Although it's very lengthy, but please don't you mind. You can call me either Muhammad, Aslam, or Mirza, whichever you feel comfortable with. I'm comfortable with all three parts because Muhammad in America mostly I'm called by Muhammad. My all American contacts and friends they call me Muhammad. In my family I'm called Aslam because there are so many Muhammad. Then back home I was called Mirza because that's my family name. So I was distinguished by that family name. So I'm comfortable with all three parts, whichever is easy for you. I'll be responding, no issue. Okay, I have developed PMO strategies. That's an entity which is dealing with business industries for managing their business, moving to the next level of performance. And I'm the founding president, founding CEO. And I won't take you much into the depth of that area because the most important area I would bring your attention to are my 4 books. In fact, these 4 books were written under the theme of Aura. Aura is AURA, and if any of you would understand the background of Aura, Aura is a distinctive energy surrounding a person or a team who have reached to a level of competence that they can go with full force to any direction they want to. So, in that perspective, these 4 books are written. A goes for applying project management principles and principles and practices for organizational transformation. That's A. Then U goes for understanding human factor and environment. Again, that is respecting diversity, building team, meaningfulness, and growing to leadership. Again, that is agility in project management and collaboration. So having exposure to these 4 areas, I believe that any professional can achieve an understanding and a competence to move any assignment with the full force in the required directions and for the desired outcomes. So these books are there on Amazon. That's the main thing I just wanted to share with you. I'm basically a construction engineer, as I said before. I ran a construction company in CEO and MD position for about 20 plus years. No, sorry, 25 plus years. And then I came into general management. And now I'm practicing project management for helping businesses to move in their desired strategic direction. Because most of the time, as I've also gone through the different surveys, that only 35 to 40% companies have got defined strategic direction, and hardly 40 to 45% are able to move in that desired direction because they are not able to put their strategy into implementation effectively. So that's a major area where I help out the businesses to move in that way. Fair enough. I think it's enough to talking about myself. Otherwise, I will take whole time. Okay. Here are the complexities which really I wanted to share with you. These complexities have got 4 areas. Because anything happening from the external area of an organization are influencing the organizations to make themselves to face those complexities. That means whatever is happening in the external arena is influencing internal required competence building. And internal competence building cannot be developed without operational competence made up. And these 2 areas together can help organizations to move in required and desired strategic direction. So that's how the complexities are. And in all these 4 areas, you can see that there is a big list, huge list of complexities. Global market volatility, technology changes, regulatory landscape, increasing competition, climate change, cybersecurity, geopolitical uncertainty, supply chain disruption. This is happening outside of an organization, but influencing effectively organizations to think of their competence development requirements. So for that, internal area needs to be made up. And there it is talent acquisition and retention, the most challenging part in the present time. The organizations are under pressure to keep their talent with them and keep them happily stay with them. So that's the most important area which organization needs to develop. And there is a long list how they can do it. Then DEI and B, that is diversity, equity, inclusivity, and belonging. This is an area where organizations can develop a special base for helping their internal competence building. Then organizational culture and engagement. Culture is the most important area which needs to be developed if organizations really want to move with full force, because culture itself brings a very strong force. Peter Drucker has once said that culture eats the strategy in breakfast or breakfast. This is that important and most difficult part and highly neglected. Most of the organizations you won't find taking any care of culture. And the beauty of culture is that if you do not handle it properly, it will develop on its own. But the point is, if you have developed it purposefully, then it will be supportive of your endeavors. Wherever you want to move to, it will help you. If you don't let it, if you don't care it, if you don't let it develop the way you want it, then you can face it all the time. So it brings additional force and additional power to the project teams, to the organizational teams for moving in a strategic direction. Then digital transformation. In the present time, informed decision making, of course, cannot happen without having digital transformation. So you need to make that happen. How? Of course, that's a big question, and you have to decide on your own. Leadership development. Leadership is the basic thing which needs to be developed. And again, here I do not mean leader, only the leader who is the leader and leading the team or leading the organization. Every individual in the team is essentially a leader. Why? Because I am responsible for my own direction. I am responsible to keep my efficacy. I am responsible to keep my enthusiasm. I am responsible to keep my courage. I am responsible to make myself available with the full force and with full competence for the team to work on. It is my responsibility. If I'm not doing that, I'm not helping the team. So that means leadership, of course, the recognized leadership who are made the team leaders, that they are important, but every individual counts. So every individual needs to be developed with the leadership. Then change management. In the present time, when disruption is something common. Every morning or every time, I don't know how much disruption must have taken so far, or still be coming up. So for that, this change management has got to be understood, has got to be developed. And for that, you have to develop your team with resilience and adaptability. And basic thing for that is growth mindset, a strategic mindset. Without having that, you cannot develop change management. Then communication breakdown. Communication is the backbone of any organization. Without having a strong communication, you cannot move and you cannot expect everybody to think the way you want them to think. So communication is the most important factor and it's the most neglected aspect of our daily life. Most of the time you will find that we communicate in a misguiding way. We talk of halfway. I mean, that has got to be trained. Every individual must be trained for that communication. So that when you are talking, it's not only important in the business arena, it's important in every area, even in your private life. If you are not communicating effectively, you are only creating confusion, heading to the confusion, leading to somewhere where you never wanted to go. And most of the time, you come to know only when you reach there unwantedly. You find, oh my God, I'm here. I never wanted to be here, but you are there. Okay, so that's the internal area which is influenced by the external pressures and external disruptions that needs to be developed. Then this managing remote impact is operational.
It's not showing because it's a different color.
Yeah, it's because of color.
Not showing out there. It's a lighter color.
Yeah, okay. So that is operational. So in the operational area, managing remote workforce, which is the need of the present time. Without having remote workforce, you just can't think of anything. So that needs to be managed. And of course, how and when that needs to be managed, it all dependent on your external pressures and external requirements. So streamlining processes, how to develop your competence that needs to be handled by process improvements. Then quality control, basic thing. Whatever you are doing, if it is not meeting the expectation of the customer, you just forget it. Maybe making yourself happy, but not the customer. So quality is the basic thing. Managing logistics. Without that, you can't think of reaching to your customers. Customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction, customer experience. We are all talk of, but very seldom and very rarely we think of the real requirements, how to do that, how to manage it. So that is another thing. Adapting artificial intelligence and blockchain. That needs to be managed in the way it is required to move in the directions you have set upon. Second area is intellectual property, managing intellectual property. In any work environment, that has got to be protected, that has got to be satisfied. So that has got to be seen that what intellectual property needs to be established, needs to be satisfied. Mitigating risk, most important areas, because you want to reach somewhere. If you are not mitigating risk, you are not assessing and dealing with risk, forget it. You will be taken by surprise. And the final area is strategic advancement, because without moving in the required strategic direction, businesses cannot stay in business. Now, the important thing here is that whatever strategy needs to be developed is influenced by the external factors, is influenced by the internal competence developed for the organization, is supported by the operational area which has been developed and taken care of for a strategy to go on. So in the strategic arena, it is innovating business model, what needs to be taken up for satisfying the businesses to continue, identifying new markets, building strategic partnership, managing mergers and acquisition, competitive advantage, fostering innovation and research and development, managing global expansion, sustainable business strategies. So these are the areas which needs to be taken up only when you have strong operational and internal competence built up, which is there to satisfy the requirements of external pressures. Okay. Now, how is that possible to move on? Here are the areas which may help to deal with those complexities. Now, these areas are just general. You have to see that which area needs to be taken up in what way. But just see what are these. Artificial intelligence leverage project management application. Without artificial intelligence leverage project management, you cannot think of applying project management in an effective manner. And at least I'm thankful to PMI that they have come up with artificial intelligence courses to bring the basic understanding. And luckily, some parts I have already taken, few are remaining. It needs to be taken up by every one of us. If we really want to be effective in our job size, in our project size, and our projects. Second is simplicity and streamlining. The further detail is there that I'm going to talk about. Improve visibility and transparency. Enhance collaboration and coordination. Embrace agility and adaptability. Leverage technology of a skilled workforce. So these are the areas which needs to be focused for dealing with the complexities. That means you need to define what complexities you are taking up to deal with. And then you will have to see that what supports you can get from these lines. That we are going to do a while ago. Just after this go through, my plan is to discuss this application practically in the groups so that I can also learn from your judgment, from your competence, and from your wisdom. Okay, so artificial intelligence leverage project management application. These are the areas which are there to help application. That is predictive analytics, artificial intelligence powered predictive model forecast, project outcomes, risk, and timelines. Those of you who have taken project artificial intelligence application in project management must have had an understanding that Infinity has brought out that tool which can help to deal with that. How many of you have taken that course? Any? No?
I've taken a couple of AI courses from PMI.
You have taken all?
I've taken some of them.
Yeah, some. There are 4. The 5th one is CPM.
PMI. Yeah, that's for AI, managing AI projects.
Yeah, so that's the latest one. You have taken that?
I have done CPM AI even before PMI brought them over. And looked at them.
You look at them. That's not enough.
Yeah,
That's not enough.
but I
You have taken all?
Yeah.
You know, one question, are those courses available to any members in PMI? Are they online, are they?
This is PMI Global, you know, you go to PMI, you have the certifications that are free. I'm sure that the 4 are free, the CPAM.
Those 4 are free.
Yeah.
The CPM AI is charged, and the first part is free, second part is charged. So PMI is very generous. They are attracting the
Give you one for free, yeah.
to come up and then, so my suggestion is you take those courses. It will bring you a good understanding, particularly the prompt engineering course, because most of the time the confusion comes from prompting, how to question. So if you are able to question the AI, then you will be more successful. And then it's not only one-time question, it's a repetitive advancements. Like you are talking to somebody, that you ask something, when you get the response, then with that response, in that perspective, you ask again, that what happens if this is like this? What happened to that? So in that way, you find out a real good.
You refine the ask by
That's right.
iterative questioning.
But the most important thing is, whatever response you get from AI is your responsibility to see, because you are responsible for the outcome of its application in the real life. If it doesn't bring the desired result, then you will be responsible. That means you have to be very open-minded and find out all in and outs and see that how things are really happening. As a matter of fact, AI is there only to complement your intelligence. The main intelligence is you, not you, everyone else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
AI is only complementing the area of your intelligence. Only the beauty of AI is, which I have understood, that it is very fast. What you in your evaluation process, what you find out in a hours of efforts or weeks of efforts, it can bring you in few minutes, few seconds. That's the beauty. So in the area of brainstorming, is the best tool. You can always brainstorm with AI. This is what you think. And in my endeavor, I have very often come across that way that while prompting, I said, what about this? Why not this? Why not that? And most of the time I get the answer, well, you are right. That's the best.
We always
Go
right.
ahead.
We always right.
But you know what happens? AI is not going to be punished. If something goes wrong, it will be me.
It's always say that you have to check the response from AI,
You have
right?
to
It
see
can
that
make a
whatever-
mistake. So.
Whatever outcome you are going to get with that is the one which really you want, or you really think that is going to help you. This is interesting. Okay. So, real-time monitoring, that tool, Infinity has got that tool. It can help it can help projects go on monitoring system, real-time monitoring system. And the idea is that you develop those areas where AI can work on repetitive work for you and do that in real-time monitoring. You have to, if you have provided that all requirements of the AI, you can make that of Then risk management, it can bring you very effective risk responses. You can evaluate what's really happening in real time, and you can see that how things are moving. Then decision support. Again, the support system data given. Again, here the data analytics area is that whatever data you are providing, don't expect that AI will go beyond that. In other words, you are training your AI with the information you are feeding. Whatever information you have fed, you will be getting the responses within that. So it's again your responsibility to find the right data, to feed it in the right way, and then get the right answer which you want. Improve visibility and transparency. This is data-driven decision making. That goes using data analytics to inform decisions, as we have just said. Real-time monitoring, the Infinity tool also provides that area where real-time monitoring can happen. Clear communication, it can bring out a plan and requirements, who to communicate, what to communicate, and how to communicate. AI can help you in that area.
My question, though. You currently cannot hook it up to Tableau, Power BI, so how are we supposed to prompt it?
If I have understood you correctly, you are asking me that how to get that communication plan. You are talking in terms of the communication plan?
Yeah, for the
Well, in fact, these information is just general. You have to be specific for your requirements and protect what area exactly you are looking for. That means we have talked of all complexities. We have talked of all solutions available for dealing with those complexities. Then with that reference, when you ask for communication plan, definitely AI will help you out.
So essentially, when leveraging AI into your projects, you should already have the results.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, okay.
Without
that's
having-
what the gap was.
Without feeding the AI, you can't get the response you want.
So I think, in my opinion, when it comes to project management, the problem is the execution phase, and in between it, when we're actually developing the game, going through the project, leveraging that, you have to have the results already given. So that wouldn't come until, I don't know, it's just a caveat I have. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the beauty of Infinity project management, they have come up with their tools and they have all the background knowledge fed by PMI. So with that course, you can get the right answers when you are asking the questions in the right way.
Infinity is the PMI AI tool that is developed by PMI, just to give you a background.
This is a PMI member?
Yes.
So you have free access to PMI or to?
Yeah, and I've been looking at it, and there's a lot of, I don't know, it's,
If you don't,
because I'm in digital transformation, and
Okay.
and so I was just trying to figure out how to streamline the complexity. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, it's okay. But, that's the beauty of our discussion, because if you don't ask me, I won't know where am I going. So the best thing is that, you go through the Infinity journal, go through, then find out how best you can use it for your current project. The beauty of Infinity is that it has got all the background knowledge available with them, fed by PMI. You don't need to go and feed it as required information. That is already there. Simply have to provide the current issue and current problem and the prompting for the current requirements.
You get it from PMI.org. PMI.org.
Excellent. Okay, enhance collaboration and coordination. In that area, it's cross-functional teams, fostering collaboration between departments and business units. That again is to be found out which area and which complexity needs this approach. So when you have found the complexity that you are dealing with, then you have to find out which one is applicable. Second is clear roles and responsibilities. Without having clear rules and responsibilities of the team members, you cannot think of effective coordination and effective collaboration. Regular meetings, definitely in the process of collaboration. If you are looking to make it successful, without regular meetings and regular interaction, you cannot make it happen. Impress agility and adaptability. Agile methodologies, adapting an agile framework and approach. Those of you who are comfortable with agile approach definitely will appreciate that it goes with the ongoing issues and ongoing requirements with the solutions. So that's the approach. Flexibility, encourage adaptability. That's the need of the present time, because it is disruption, the way the disruption is taking place, if you are not flexible enough, you won't be able to adapt yourself. For that adaptability, you need to understand. And of course, you can't be adaptable blindly. Continuous learning, we have talked about it, and I'm sure all of you agree that continuous learning, the fourth most important thing is keep your mind open. The beauty of learning is that we are learning all the time, whether we want it or not. We are learning. The point is, we will only retain that part of the learning where we are conscious. We really wanted to learn, that part of the learning will stay with us, the rest will go away. So, while making decisions for learning, you have to be conscious what you want to learn. Leverage technology, digital transformation, digital technologies. I don't need to talk about it much, because this is the present time challenges, and everyone in every phase and every project, this is happening and things are moving with that. Cloud-based solutions, of course, there are many solutions which are cloud-based, and you can always download it or you can make use of it. The beauty of cloud-based is that it brings a cheaper price. If you have to take the whole system and whole software, it probably would be very costly. So, artificial intelligence, exploring AI-powered solutions is what really we want. Finally, upskill workforce. This is the most important factor which is needed in the present time. And the important thing is, the fear is there that AI will take over the human beings. No way. Because artificial intelligence cannot take over some extent. The way, you see, my curiosity, my courage, my creativity, my compassion, my communication approach cannot be taken over by any robot or by any system or any tool of AI. But if I am complementing the support AI, then my competence will be enhanced. So that's what is required. With that, just take 5 minutes, and I'm sure all of you on your phone, you must be having artificial intelligence uploaded there. Is it there?
No,
You have.
no.
All of you have? You have?
There's AI on our phones, yeah. I mean, there's
Okay.
Siri and other.
My question is, just think of which area is close to you. The courage, curiosity, creativity, courage, curiosity, compassion, and communication. This is the human factor which is unmatchable, cannot be. So, but every human being has got some priority that I may be more comfortable in communication, in creativity, in curiosity, in courage. I may be. I mean, so my question is that, in fact, I did it myself, so that's why I'm asking you. Keeping 1, 2, or whatever combination, you ask your AI tool that what area should you progress for your advancement in profession, and see what happens. If you can do that right now, you will be amazed. I was told something like, "My good God, oh." And why I'm saying all this? Why I'm asking you to do this? Because your advancement in career in all time to come will be based on these bases. Those areas where you have better strength. If you develop your career along with that, your advancement will be more forceful. As much you are able to understand it, will be better for you. How much time do I have?
You have another 20 minutes. We wanted an open discussion.
Yes, after this. In fact, the group discussion will include that open discussion.
Yes. We have until 6:30.
So what do we need to do? What do we need to do?
The human
Yeah.
human specialty, creativity, courage, curiosity, compassion, and communication. These 5 areas are the human specialty. You see that which one is close to you. You feel that this is your strength. And with that strength, find out what should be your career advancements. What should be the advice of AI for your career advancements? How should you develop? What should you develop for your career advancements? See what it says.
There where you got the data for your slide? You ran that query?
Huh?
There where you got the data for the slide, you ran that query? Yeah. That's what it came out with, communication, leadership, management, technical. Continuous learning, relationship, adaptability, growth mindset. Yeah.
So it didn't get you.
So I ran that same question, what area is the most important in life?
And clemency, in fact, thinking, I work for example, 10 or 15 pages of advice. Do this, I said, which, leadership, coaching on. In different areas of training, different areas of.
Is it on target or?
Different area of advancement.
Yeah, I mean, he asked me where I am and where I want to go.
Pretty amazing.
Was it useful?
Another thing, I
I mean, I think I asked you
You know it
4 or
already.
5 times a day.
Already.
Data? said,
Once, yeah.
I said, no. I said, go and tell us. Okay, so any outcome?
Got several suggestions.
But
Well, expand into independent contracting. Strengthen technical fluency in modern tools. Add a specialized credential. Develop a knowledge, product, or service. And offers to build a roadmap.
you said you got something.
Yes, I did. So I put in, how would I strengthen myself as a teacher and a project manager? And it specified my communication skills. That's gonna help me build more lessons, help my students understand more, facilitating team collaboration, managing conflicts within the classroom or the team, and then inspire trust and students, parents, colleagues, and project teams. So I feel like it gave me information that I already do. But I'm like, I already do that, but thanks. It's good to see.
On the right side.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you get some answers? Some valuable answers? Okay. So whenever you get time, go through it and find out how best those are applicable. And then you can question again. I just wanted to share one more information with you. In fact, this AI gives me problem. I'm giving back problem to AI. And whatever discussion I went through, I asked AI to make out a summary sheet so that I don't need to go back every time in the areas which I have already discussed with you, and the information is already there. So that brought me the summary sheet. And then every time when I ask some new question, I immediately ask it to add it to the summary sheet so that I may not need to ask you this again. I can go back and find out what you had said. And then if I need to explore it further, of course, I can come up with new questions.
So where does it keep the summary sheet?
Huh?
Where does it keep the summary sheet? How do you access the summary sheet?
I think I'm hard at listening.
Where does the AI
Communication.
store the summary sheet? Where did you access it?
But I asked AI. AI is there to work for me. It's my assistant. And you know, I gave a name to her. Her, in fact, I called it Flopsy. And since I'm very comfortable the woman, so I say that, okay, Froxy is the best name. And she said, well, fine, that's a good name. It means I'm your business assistant and I can help you out in your whatever you are asking me. So I asked her that make out a summary sheet so that I don't need to ask things again and again. But we have already discussed, it should remain there so that whenever I need it, I can go back and find out. Like this. All this information there.
Yeah.
Now, if I need to retrieve that information, I just give the number. That item number such and such, bring me that information. It makes life easy for me.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, AI life is not made easy because she has said a number of times that I'm not human, so don't worry. Okay. Okay, gentlemen, I suppose we are through with the solutions. Now, my request is that if you can form, how much time we have?
We have
15 minutes. Okay, in 15 minutes, let's find out what area of, go back to complexities. What area of complexities you feel you are facing in the present time. Then find out what solutions you can work with. Then let's see what happens. What are these complexities?
This slide is very useful because, you know, if you're doing something
It is.
in the present day, and,
And,
you know, you think about the external complexities, operations and strategy, and, you know, adjust your internal based on the external, adjust your strategy based on the external influences, and adjust your operations based on the external influences.
without that you
And
want
you
to.
have to do that in a continuous way. It's a continuous process.
That's right. That's why the slide is made like that. External is forcing internal, that is influencing operational, and all these three are influencing strategy. Okay, so if you can assemble in groups, 2-3 groups, and find out what best you can come up with, probably it will help you and help me. And another thing, I'm running podcast, and in those podcasts, so far I've run about 15 podcasts, and I have invited PhDs, professionals who are practicing project management. And on these complexities, I have 2 questions put to them. One is, how are you managing these complexities in the present time of disruption? With this in background. And second question is, what is your suggestion and your recommendation to move to the next level? And beautifully, I have come across so many answers which are really impressive. So please, let's make a
I
best
think we
use
can
of this
have,
time.
like, we have 3 tables, so we can group by table, I guess.
Yeah, just so group will help to go fast.
Yeah, I think because of we have limited time, in my opinion, it'd be better if we just open up for questions. We may have questions after watching your presentation.
You think that won't help? I thought that probably the internal discussion will help. But if you think that no, just making direct questions will help, I'm here.
I think it's hard because everybody come from different
Huh?
background, different
Mhm.
fields.
Yeah.
It's really hard to discuss your question.
I think the question will be better.
Okay, fair enough. I'm here. Any question?
So what, how do you monitor the external influences? Is that, you know,
External factor you don't need to monitor. It happens already there. Everybody will be talking of it.
I mean, is there any specific news channel or any kind of business news channel or something that you particularly prescribe to, or?
No, because like external, I mean, the political arena, the things happening in the political arena, is there. Every news channel is talking of it, and that is influencing your internal factors. I mean, like President Trump was furious on tariff. That is, of course, affecting most of the organizations, and they have to develop some sort of resilience in the internal area, in the operational area, and they have to come up with statistics. So, for the external factors, you don't need any things to monitor. It's there. In the internal area, yes.
Well, you still have to kind of, you know, if you are a responsible person in an organization who is needing to know the external factors in more detail, then you'll probably have to take a special effort to look at it, you know. I mean,
You can summarize for your business case, you can summarize for
from
your.
AI or.
Yeah, you can always do that, but then you will have to be specific, that this particular thing is impacting these areas. And these areas will be impacting your internal competence. And internal competence, of course, will impact your operational competence. So that's how you can always, for your business case, yes. You want to say something?
Yeah. Agile methodologies. Your background is construction. How do you apply agile methodology to construction projects?
To my understanding, Agile allows and focuses that You don't need to wait for the end to reach and then find out what went right and what went wrong. You have to be gradually look into the areas and stay connected with the customer to find out their acceptance all along the way, so that you don't need to face the what you call surprises. Oh my God.
But that you do regardless in project management. For example, in software development, IT projects, you have a big picture. Okay, this is what the objective is. This is the goal. And in between, if there are things you can do at smaller segments in parallel to achieve that, you continue doing that, which is possible to do in software development, for example. In construction, you have very limited opportunities to use Agile because you have to have the foundation before you put the walls. You have to have the walls before you put the ceiling. So where do you apply Agile to do work before you get into the big picture?
I mean, I can, yeah, even I can. Go ahead, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, my understanding is that Agile is good for certain types of problems, like high complexity, with constant change, and with high technology, with changing technology, and that is why software development projects of the current day are more appropriate for Agile, because the construction is a total waterfall. It's
Most of the time,
it's
yes.
a total waterfall problem because of what he said. So
We disagree with the total, and where I see the agile apply is on the small things. That means you will build the foundation, the top, but you can see, okay, I put wood, the wood doesn't last well in my first iteration of trying to do this. I dismantle this, I will put steel, it's better. Or when you finish the wall, you said, okay, the color is not what I want, I do another iteration of color. I mean, not for the big things, but you can on small elements of the construction.
and even for the technology used in construction, like, for example, the cameras here, okay, in Hanwha Vision, you might have a little bit of Agile there to debug how the cameras are going to show it on the TV, on the CCTVs, and you might have, some product, MVP products there, or the security system of the building, that could be one thing in an Agile, or possibly an Agile, because that involves software, hardware, electronics, technology, again, So there are elements of construction that probably have some degree of Agile, is my understanding.
You are right. In fact, in construction, most of the time, the decisions for making any facility takes long time. So in that long time, already that process has been taken care of. I mean, when you have reached to make the decision, yes, you need that. Then at that stage, very small changes may take place. So, but still changes take place at the final stage of the finishing. And the building has reached to a finishing stage. At that time, yes, of course, a lot of changes starts coming up, because then you realize that your need is not that, is this. Now the present requirements is requiring this thing. So, but of course, those are not that big that you need to shift the whole building or shift the whole foundation. The structure is there, the whole building is there, only the internal. I mean, like instead of putting tables like this, it could be placed in a L shape or something like that. So, I mean, so these are the things which do not happen in construction. Yes, but still, the applicability of Agile at some area and some time is necessary. The understanding is important. That's why I'm not very comfortable with Agile, but I have some understanding.
You had a comment.
Back in 2019, so I was post-implementation, so I had to build these radio towers. And so Agile came into play with A&E, which is architectural engineering. So that would be the foundation. So that is the NTP, the notice to proceed. So regardless of where the building is, you need your architectural engineering designs to be formatted, and that's the Agile approach. You because there's constant design, frame changes, network changes, and everything. But for a pure agile approach, it goes into supply chain management. Now, this was back when COVID was a big deal, and so we would get an NPT, notice to proceed, before finalization of the inception of the contract. So even though we're doing radio equipment and technology and software, we also had a construction side of it because that was the picture in which the software and IoT devices actually communicate. So even if we were installing an LTE tower for a privatized cellular network, it still required a tower, a crane, construction, the piers, and it required the materials. And so this is where Agile came in heavily in play with logistics. So what we would do is I would have a risk mitigation elicitation session, and I would sit there and I would say, we're not going to order these equipment on this as we have to give constraints. So what I would do was order whatever the AME has described as quintessential to operations. I describe that as QTE, QTEO, quintessential to operations and timing. And once we had that into place, we would move forward with supply chain logistics and shipping, and then reiterate and involve what materials need to be done from. That's the purest form.
Good.
But yeah, the A&E part needed agile in the design phase.
Yes.
You know, and that's quite understandable, yeah. Like when the construction starts, that's a little more waterfall, you know.
After the base construction, the only implementations you can do is when you were implementing different material devices. So what you have to understand is in construction, especially in supply chain management, it's not every material is available. So what your agile process should be focused on is time, power, and constraints. So do we have power to meet the construction specifications? Do we have the materials? Do we have our constraints within our supply chain? Messing up the foundation to reiterate. So what you would have to do is consistently recheck, reorder, and order things incrementally instead of. So you would have different projects go on in construction, but each project is much like how you have parent and child tickets, and parent and child tasks within Agile. You would have a set of tasks, and projects is then broken up, and it's not truly waterfall because it's not done in iteration sessions. It's then done modularly, and that's the push that we're kind of looking for in that, and that's what defines Agile against waterfall: modular versus non-modular.
Yeah, modular is probably closer to agile.
Yeah, that's the closest I can get it. I'm in IT too, so I understand it.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to the topic, but I have a question because today discussion focused a lot on AI application in project management, right? My question is, anybody can comment on the confidentiality and security of using AI? Like a lot of concern going on, like, oh, you put information, especially company confidential information into AI, and nobody know what it do with it. After you got information, where else can go to, right? And that's
I see the point of view entirely, especially emerging acquisitions. It's like part of it. Like I see your point of view because part of it is you have to identify what your competitors are using as tools in the landscape to outdo your other competitors.
In that case, in fact, if your organization is concerned for that, which usually they are, in that case, they will have to buy their own tool. If you own the tool, then you can have the confidentiality protected.
How safe it is? Anyone have IT background? How safe it is? We buy the whole tool.
Your organization must buy that
safe
tool for the organization if they feel that the justification is there. If so, then fine. Then they can keep all the information within them. In case of Infinity of PMI, in fact, you are essentially not sharing your confidential information. You are only taking guidance of the tools which is already available, provided to Infinity by PMI. You are only making use of that. There you are not sharing any information. In fact, for proper use of AI, you have to train your AI as well. You have your own AI in the organization. We have to train it first with the information and with the data we're feeding to it.
So we have, implementation of Copilot in our organization, but that instance is private to our company. So any information, any prompt questions we ask, the answers we get, one, we have to log in with our corporate account. It's only one of those. And anything we ask, it's protected within boundaries of our organization's instance, right? So for example, our servers are hosted in Azure or AWS. It's secured. Any data transaction that happens, that information does not go to, for example, Copilot is owned by Microsoft, right? So if company B also has Copilot, company A using their Copilot instance and the data is completely separated from company B. And then, like he said, the models are trained for the need that we have for Copilot, kind of projects we run, the kind of usage we have from that tool for our company. And so we work with Microsoft to make sure it's trained to provide that data. When you use the guidance from any corporate organization, any company, is when, say, I'm a project manager, I want to use PMI Infinity for guidance on my project, I am not supposed to put any confidential data. I can say generally what I have as a problem, and how would PMI solve that problem based on the knowledge PMI has in the PMI Infinity. Right? I can't put, I'm running this project, this person's name, the budget is this, all confidential, right? And I think companies are lagging behind on training their users into what is purely you can go out and get advice on, and what are the boundaries, right? So that's something the companies should start doing for their employees, to clearly set those guidelines, to say, here's the information you can go ask, here's the information that is totally confidential to the company. Now, we do the training like privacy and data security and harassment, right? What not to say to somebody to feel harassed, but there has to be some training where it reinforces what is confidential information for an organization. Right, I think that's what I have learned so far from using it, and we use it. I haven't started using it completely, but we use the Copilot and Microsoft Teams. It's all integrated into the Teams application.
Well, we are at time, little beyond time actually, and it's time for dinner now. But before that, Aslam, Mirza, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation.